You're always pushing yourself. There's no time to rest. You keep moving forward. The only thing better than your last accomplishment is your next.
What's next?
What's next?
What's next?
So, Allie, what's next?
I guess we'll see.
Find a bank that's as excited about your future as you are. A bank that asks,
What's next?
Renaissance Bank, understanding you.
ICC fans, make your plans to meet the Indians Wednesday, August 21st at 7 p.m. inside the cool confines of the Davis Event Center on the Fulton campus of Itawamba Community College. Meet the football, men's and women's soccer, and volleyball teams while enjoying performances from the ICC All-American Band and the ICC cheerleaders. Autograph sessions and photo opportunities with your favorite ICC student athletes will follow the introduction of players and coaches. That's Meet the Indians, Wednesday, August 21st at 7 p.m. at the Davis Event Center in Fulton. And welcome back to the ICC Hour. As we continue to look into our sports this fall, we're going to talk about women's soccer here at ICC. And we've got three of the ladies joining us today. And ladies, we'll let you introduce yourself, and we'll just roll the conversation from there.
I'm Liv Norris.
Liv, where are you from?
I'm from Hernando, Mississippi.
And what position do you play?
I play center back.
Okay.
I'm Lauren Charles. I'm from Liverpool, England, but my hometown's Raynell. It's a little village, but no one ever knows where that is, so I always say Liverpool.
I got you. So, what position do you play?
I play whatever David wants.
Good answer.
Centre mid, striker, on the wing, 10.
Gotcha.
Whatever needs filling. Really.
I like it.
I'm Addie Stanford. I'm from Tupelo, Mississippi.
And what position do you play?
I'm also center back.
Okay. So, explain to me what a center back is.
So there's obviously a defensive line, and the center backs are in the center of them, and they're the people who can really see the whole field. Center backs should probably just be like the loudest people in the field, not necessarily the most like come to contact with the ball. In my opinion, their biggest role is like seeing and
guiding people on the field, because we're in the very back, so we see everything.
Yeah, so y'all are like the generals.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I got you now. And then I would say explain your position, but if you play everywhere, then you just do what you're told. So
I do.
I got you. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's talk about it. How is training going right now?
I think it's going good. It's hot, very hot, but I think we're making it.
Lauren, talk about the biggest difference in your weather right now from when you're at home versus here.
Well, we only get like a 2-week span of any weather, but that's like 20 degrees, which is like, I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. What is it? Like 60, 70, 65 or something. And then it just rains all the time. So like when I'm training, I'm usually training the night anyway. So it's 7 o'clock, it's dark, it's cold, it's raining. And then anytime it is hot, it's only hot for like a short period of time. So there's like a big difference to here than back home. And I think the humidity as well is like a big difference as well. So
yeah, humidity's a monster. Mm-hmm. I can handle the heat, but the humidity when it's like 90% outside,
it was like 36
is
degrees the other day, which I think is like 90 or nearly
like 95.
Yeah, something like that. And that got me like, I got a lot of the internationals. So
it got me, and I'm from here. So.
Yeah, most definitely. Talk about the freshmen, new core freshmen. Y'all were in those shoes last year. As sophomores, how are y'all helping bring them along to make the adjustment? Because I don't care what anybody says, it is a huge leap on this level from high school to this level. Yeah. So how are you guys, and y'all feel free to talk amongst yourselves on this one, but how are y'all bringing the freshmen along to get adapted to the style of play we have here?
It definitely starts off the field with like making them more comfortable with us, because like soccer is a really big sport about relationships on the field. And so it's a really wide.
We try and make them as comfortable as we can. Like being friends with them first before we get on the field. That way they feel comfortable when they're on the field. And then when we're on the field, you got to just kind of yell.
Yeah, I think they're learning a lot from high school, because you probably know, like, it's letting them like listen to what we're saying, which I think is really new for them, and it's different type of game of what David's bringing in. Mm-hmm. And then I think shout out to Beth, I'm doing best job this year, so I'm with the internationals a lot, but they're like fitting right in. I know a girl just came in there, and Kim, who's like, she's fitting in all right, but So I feel like I'm just Beth and like the mum to the internationals, which I shouldn't be, but I am. So.
No, you're the perfect one for that.
They're doing really good at it too,
Yeah.
though. Like the style of play definitely is a lot faster, and they're definitely leaning onto us a lot. Like asking for help, asking for what we see that they might not see, which is a really good thing, especially this early in the season.
So let's talk about the biggest thing y'all learned from your freshman year to this sophomore year. I know it's a big adjustment, and unfortunately, we only get y'all 2 years. I wish we were a 4-year school because we got a lot of awesome student athletes that come through. We only get to spend 2 years with you guys. But from last year to this year, and we'll just go down the line, what was the biggest thing you learned?
Well, it was really weird for people to be asking me questions. Like, a lot of the freshmen will come up to me and ask me questions, which is weird because, like, I'm only a year older than you. So but that's, I think, what, like, was so different was that people were asking me a lot of questions when I was asking the sophomores last year a lot of questions. But I kind of like it, I feel like I'm in charge.
I like it.
And for me, I think it's a lot more like principal-wise. I think back home, the principals, like everyone had principals, but it's a lot more. Everyone had a word into everything. And the coaches did, but they let the work thing. So I think for me, it's just like having David as the coach and listen to what David's saying, and that's what I learned from first year, and now I'm learning the second year. I think I've learned a lot from that. Just listen to what the coaches say, and even if you don't have like agree with them, just make sure that you're doing what they do. So I think I learned that from first year, especially from the start, and then now I think I've got more comfortable into it.
Awesome.
Yeah, a touch on like whenever I was a freshman coming in, like it was a completely different style of play, and I was leaning into the sophomores, and I feel like it wasn't really that like different whenever I did the transition myself. But now that I'm seeing these girls like transition from what they've been told their entire life and then coming here, definitely like I've leaned a lot into David as a sophomore, and David and Ugo both, and they're telling me stuff that I can see the difference that I couldn't see when I was a freshman, and it's a lot bigger and drastic, and I'm just gonna like be really excited whenever I see it all start to come together.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so,
no, I was just gonna say I think we know what is ahead of us. Like I know it's obviously a 2 year, not a 4, so people change and this and that. But I think now we've been through it once. We were like the sophomores last year. Like we know what we're facing, where the freshmen don't. So that's why we always say like we've got to try and be the leaders, because we know what we're gonna face, and a lot of the freshmen don't right now, and especially from high school. So facing what we're going to face, the freshmen have got to be on it as soon as we play that first game against Free Hardman, is it? Like they've got to be on it. Even though that doesn't count, if you want to say count, it still counts in a lot of people's eyes, and especially the coaches' eyes, because that will probably give a lot of people a kick in the teeth to be like, this is what we're going to face, even if it's pre-season. So.
And we're talking about women's soccer, of course, so you can find that schedule on letsgoicc.com. You can also watch the matches this year. We want you to come out and support the girls because they put a lot of hard work into the season, so we'd love to see those fans come out and support them. But if you can't do that, you can watch the matches on letsgoicctv.com. Now, let's shift gears a little bit, talk about the season coming up. Let's talk about expectations. I know everybody's expectation is to win, but let's talk about personal expectations first. What are your...
Don't put me on
okay, we'll start with
I'm
Lauren.
talking about my questions a
Well,
lot.
for me, it's just I'm coming back from an injury, obviously. Got picked it up last spring, so it knocked me back a little bit. But so my expectation is just to get back to like that 90 minutes I was playing all the time. I think scoring, obviously, getting the assist. Obviously, my goal was to beat as many goals and assists as I did last year. But coming back from injury, I don't know if that will be possible, but I'll do as much as I can to obviously get there. So right now, it's just getting that 20 minutes, that contact back into my game. So, yeah.
Mine is probably just since I was here last year and I know how good we started, and like I could see like now that I'm out of the season where we faltered and where we didn't. And our season ended so abruptly. And so that's in the back of my head, knowing that this is going to be probably my last season, and that my expectation for myself is just whenever it does come to an end, that I know that like I did everything I could possibly do to be in that moment.
Yeah, kind of what Addie said. Like, I just want to be able to end the season and know that I gave everything that I possibly could, because I mean, I am a sophomore. It's my last year at ICC, so I really want to give it everything I have. That's just my personal expectation.
Oh, I like it, and that's the best way to do, drive to be your best and leave it all on the field at the end of the day. So what about the team? What are your expectations for the team this season?
I think, like, obviously our record last year, what was it?
14 and 6.
14 and 6.
Yeah.
Like, obviously our goal is to obviously try and beat that, but that was a very, very good season for us last year. So I think the expectations for the team is just to win, because obviously you don't get a breath, you don't get a minute in this league. If you lose a game, you could be gone from in playoffs to not in playoffs. So it's just getting pretty much back to playoffs and hopefully winning that time, like that playoffs, and not just coming to an abrupt, like you said, abrupt end. We want to get past that and try and get as far as we can this year. So I think that's what our team expectations are. So,
and then also, like, I feel like something that sets us apart from everybody else in our region is definitely like our off the field relationships. Like, our coaches, one word that they really love is our culture, which really does set us apart from everybody else. That off the field we get so close, which makes us 10 times better on the field, because we can talk through things rather than being like, oh, like, she's a sophomore, I don't really want to like overstep her. But we tell them, like, if you see something, we're open ears. And it just when we're closer off the field, it makes us closer on the field. It makes like everything flow better and flow easier.
Yeah, I think that's why we like won so much. I
agree.
Straight away. Like last year, we just clicked like that. Yeah. And then I think that really, really set us straight away off the bat. Like, obviously we dipped a little bit, we got it right back up, but our connections on and off the field is really what I think brought our season to what it was last year. So
and it made it more enjoyable.
I think it made us like want to play for each other because we were so close. And so I think that's kind of what I'm expecting out of this season too, because we're already like, we've only been here a week and our team's already pretty close.
Which I wasn't expecting.
A week today.
A week today, and we're already pretty close.
Wow,
so.
we've only known each other for a week.
Close with Americans.
Yeah, but that just being close makes you want to play for each other. And like last year, I wanted to play for our sophomores because I loved our sophomores last year, and so I think that also helped. So I hope the freshmen love us and they want to play for us.
You're always pushing yourself. There's no time to rest. You keep moving forward. The only thing better than your last accomplishment is your next.
What's next?
What's next?
What's next?
So, Allie, what's next?
I guess we'll see.
Find a bank that's as excited about your future as you are. A bank that asks,
what's next?
Renaissance Bank, understanding you.
When injury knocks you out, Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi will be there for you every step of the way. We are here to get you back in the game, back in motion, back to your life. Our elite team of orthopedic specialists will work side by side with you, educating you about your treatment plan, utilizing advanced technology, and providing you with a successful path to recovery. Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi. We will get you back.
So Industrial Maintenance Technology at ICC is a 2-year degree program in which we train students to go into manufacturing facilities and be industrial maintenance technicians or multi-skilled maintenance technicians, to operate machinery, to manipulate and repair machinery and manufacturing processes so that manufacturers can efficiently make their products and maintain a certain production rate. So enrollment is selective admission. You apply for admission to college like you would any other program, and then you also submit an application for industrial maintenance technology. So the demand is very significant at this point in time, and it has been for a number of years now. All manufacturers in the area have maintenance jobs that are open. We constantly receive calls and requests for qualified maintenance personnel. However, we don't produce enough at the moment to fill all of those positions. On the very low end of the scale is in the range of $16 to $18 an hour, equates to around $45,000 a year before overtime. And then after several years of experience and topping out, we have maintenance personnel in the area that are making well over $100,000 a year, including their overtime. Most of the classes are taught at Belden. The few academic courses, the 18 hours of academics that are still taught on either Fulton or Tupelo or online. The curriculum is heavily electrical based because a maintenance person has to be an electrician first and then add additional skills to that. So for people who like to work with their hands, they like to figure out problems and fix problems, this is usually a really good field because not only does it give us the ability to exercise those things, it also is a very stable field in as far as a job goes, a career. Like I said, everybody in the area is looking for maintenance personnel. So the job availability is there, the ability to sustain a job, and then the pay on top of that is pretty lucrative compared to most other jobs.
ICC fans, make your plans to meet the Indians Wednesday, August 21st at 7 p.m. inside the cool confines of the Davis Event Center on the Fulton campus of Itawamba Community College. Meet the football, men's and women's soccer, and volleyball teams while enjoying performances from the ICC All-American Band and the ICC cheerleaders. Autograph sessions and photo opportunities with your favorite ICC student athletes will follow the introduction of players and coaches. That's Meet the Indians, Wednesday, August 21st at 7 p.m. at the Davis Event Center in Fulton.
Here, you can be your best. The best train here. Learn here. Succeed here. Perform here. Win here. Thrive here. Itawamba Community College. The best start here.
So let's go back to Lauren real quick. Lauren, kind of describe where you're from. What's the, you already talked about rain and things like that, but I guess what's the biggest difference between where you're from and Fulton?
Well, I think, to be honest, where I'm from, it is like a small little place because I live in a village. It's literally tiny. It's about like 10,000 people. But I think the big difference is like, obviously, the weather and the people. Like, you don't hear people are so much like nicer, not to knock Rainhill, but they are so much nicer to where everyone wants to do like well, kind of. But at home, there's like a set schedule. Everyone works and they go here and they go here, but everyone here is just so happy, and obviously it could be due to the weather because it always is raining.
Yeah.
But like, I love everyone in Rainhill, but I think the difference here is just so much like a big environment. Like everyone just seems a lot more happy and I want to do a lot more for everyone else. And where back home, it's like people do this and people do this, and then they go home and it's just such a set. Like I always think, oh, I'm gonna go home and I miss home and stuff, and I get home and it's the same thing. I go home, people work, and then we go out and then they do this and I go back home. Where here it's like people actually want to play sport. I think sport gets like shut down a lot when people hit 16. They just like don't want to play sport like anymore, and if they do, it's like open age. The facilities here is not the same like back home. We don't have what here has. I think that's why like I wanted to come here as well. And then my mate went to a school in Alabama, so she said she loved it, so I wanted to go there. And then obviously I met everyone else like Liv, Addie, Gracie and stuff like that, and Liz. So it just made me love it like a lot more, which I didn't think I was gonna. So yeah, even though Fulton's a bit of a dead man's land, but it's still nice.
Well, I do have a question. For those that haven't seen it yet, I do encourage you to go on our YouTube channel and the Itawamba Soccer Facebook page. We did the behind the scenes video, which Addie did an outstanding job, and you all did a great job on it. But you said you didn't like the food here.
No, I don't.
Why?
It's not real. Like the food's actually not real.
Except for Chick-fil-A.
It's actually not real. Yeah, Chick-fil-A, honey mustard.
Okay.
But it's like not real. Like I actually don't think I'm eating food. Like it's just not real. Like it's just it's just not. Like I feel like I just go home and I'm just having a nice chicken wrap and a bit of pasta. Here, I just feel like I'm eating nothing. Like it just tastes like poison. Like it's just not.
Well, no, that's a good point because I hear that a lot from our internationals. Is
the chocolate tastes like vomit.
Yeah,
like,
apparently our
is
chocolate
so much
is not good.
Like you just won't even like. I think because you ate it so much. Like I don't know. Just
I can testify to that though because she brought me English chocolate and it definitely does taste.
Oh yeah, for
not
sure.
to crap on America's chocolate.
No. Well, you're 100% correct on that. So
yeah, no, sure. still love home. Like I do. Like sometimes I go home and I feel like have I even been in America? Like it doesn't feel like I've lived a life. Like I'm just like I've just spawned in and spawned home. You know?
So how often do you get like a home cooked meal?
Yeah.
Like that here, that's big for us. Like a home cooked
Oh yeah,
meal.
for sure.
Like all the time. Like my mum's always cooking. Like especially when I went home, she was like, you need to eat all this. Like, as soon as you made me this, like, obviously we're big on roast dinners. Like, I love a roast. Roast dinners, like chicken, anything. Like, it's every day. Like, my mum's like cooking a meal, and if it's not, obviously we'll get a takeaway. But like back home, a lot of people make home cooked meals. And if you don't, like, obviously we're at the age now, like, we'll go and make a meal like ourselves if we're mum and dad's working.
So has anybody invited you to like a grilling here or barbecue?
I went
stuff?
to
my mom made a lasagna, and she came to my grandmother's Thanksgiving. And we ate. What did we even eat?
Whatever your Thanksgiving is.
Tamales. My grandmother makes tamales.
And then my mum made a lasagna because I was going on about how
she wanted lasagna so bad, so my mom was like, "Does she like this? Does she like this?" Asking for all the stuff that she likes so she can make her lasagna.
So she had a specialized Thanksgiving then.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well I was gonna say if you hadn't, then I was gonna like fire up the grill and I was gonna be like, all right, I want to at least make you try this, and this. So that would be actually fun though if we could get some of your food over here and make some of the girls try it.
Yeah.
So
she'll send me. She made me try beans and toast one time.
The beans and toast.
It was really good.
You made me try a jacket potato.
And a jacket potato.
Which is beans and a baked potato.
That is just
really,
yeah.
That sounds.
But it's
good.
like not your beans; it's my beans.
Yeah,
Heinz
her beans are different.
If anyone's listening to this back home, Heinz beans, so you just know it's on. Like, it's so nice.
It was good. The beans and toast thing. I know it sounds weird, but it was good. I liked it.
I'll have to get to like the
next time I go to a Publix. I'm gonna bring.
They have her English beans.
All right, I'll travel a little bit more as well. So if I see one, I'll be like, David, get up with her. Let me know what I need to pick up here because you got me curious on that.
Yeah.
All right, so why should people come watch y'all play this season?
Not to brag on us, but I think we're pretty cool. I think we're. I don't know. I don't want to make it sound like I'm bragging on us, but like.
Well, no, this is your time to brag.
I just think it's women's sport, and I think it's grown so much. Like, it's not. I think obviously you'll get the men that think this and that, but like, I think it's just grown so much. Like, it is entertaining. Like, obviously there's this whole agenda that it's slow and all this and that, but like, that's our pace. Like, we are not men. Like, we can't run as fast as men do. Like, don't know what they want from us, but we can't. But like, it's still fun to watch, and it's like fun to watch people just enjoying playing the sport. Like, we enjoy playing the sport, so like, why would you not want to come and support it? Do you know what I mean? Like, we go and watch everything. We go and watch softball. We do this and that. So especially from like people who actually play sport from a sport side, like if you play sport, you're not going to go and like support other people who play sport. I think it's just not right. Like, we'll go and watch, especially like girls wise. Like, if you're a girl, you play sport and stuff like that, I feel like you should be there to watch and support obviously the college that you go to is ICC. So yeah, and it takes away from like having to do college stuff as well. Like, we'll go and watch the football games just so we don't have to go and study a little bit. So.
We'll go to basketball games.
Don't listen, David. Come to this. Like,
be like, Coach, instead of working out, can I go watch the football game? So.
School spirit.
Yeah. My biggest thing is like seeing everything we've accomplished last year, and like because we set multiple records, most goals scored in a single season. We became nationally ranked. Just endless amount of like milestones that we reached, and if we did that last year, we still have like half of the girls that we know what that feels like, and we want more. And so I want people to like they've saw that journey, and if they want to jump on and be a part of us and like be able to watch us, like they can look back and be like, oh, like I was there whenever they won their first national championship, and that's my end goal.
I like it. Lip.
I don't know. They take all the good ideas, and by the time it gets to me, I'm like, oh yeah, what Addie said. But yeah, I mean, I love watching sports in general. So I mean, if you like watching soccer, come watch us.
And women are meaner. That's a fun thing. It's a mean game.
I will vouch for that 100%.
But it makes it more fun.
Especially the one in the middle of this group right now. So, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
That's how we play back. People are so aggressive back home. Like, that's why I am. You'll find it a lot from like international people. Like, we are just so much more. I think because in England as well, it took like a hot minute for girls sports to like come. Like, when I was younger, I wasn't even playing for a girls team until I was like 6 or 7, and that wasn't even in a league. Like, I just started going into a league. I think I was just playing with people on a little grass field on a park, like for 2 years just as a team before a league was even made. So like 90% of kids like my age or a bit older, we're playing with boys. So like when you play with boys, you got to be a lot more aggressive. So like the style of football back home for women, like girls, is aggressive from like anyone my age or maybe a little bit younger, because most people played with like boys half the life. So it is just, we grew up with that aggression because we were playing with boys, and you got to be a lot more tougher with them. So yeah.
That kind of brings up the next question I meant to ask earlier. Why soccer? Where did you fall in love with the sport and decided to make it your sport? I know you do cheer as well, and which, well, that's a whole nother story on how that work out. But just why soccer?
Well, really, I started playing soccer before I could even remember. My dad played here over a decade ago, and he just put me in soccer. So I was always the girl that was like the tomboy, like, oh, like, you're a boy, want to race. Like, I wanted to always prove myself better. So he put me in soccer, and as I grew up, I just fell in love. Like, every time that I needed an escape, like, I was going to practices, my dad would take me out to the fields, and I feel like that was also something that I link with soccer, is like, it brought me closer to my dad, gave us something that we could talk about, because I'm the only girl in my family. So, and it's not just me either. I got my brothers into it too. So it's a family ordeal. So we have 3 kids playing soccer right now and my dad also coached me whenever I was in like probably age like 9 to age like 13. And I don't know, it just always got bigger and bigger. And then whenever I realized that like college was an opportunity and I started looking here, I was kind of nervous at first. And then once I got here, like I said earlier, like the relationships, it just made me fall in love even more. So now it's not even just the sport that keeps me here. It's the people, it's the coaches, it's the environment, it's even the fans, it's all of ICC. And I love it here.
Well, I started playing soccer when I was like 3 years old, and nobody in my family played soccer. I think I was in like soccer, cheer, tennis, softball, but I gonna be honest, I think I just liked running and chasing a ball around on the field, which is not what you're supposed to do. But I think I just liked running. And when I was younger, like kind of like Addie said, like we would do boys and girls soccer teams, and I just liked beating the boys.
Oh yeah, for sure. That was always a big win.
And so I think that's why I like soccer so much. And then my dad would always work with me outside. I was always juggling, always working outside. And so I think having something to do with my dad, like, that's why I liked it too. Because I think my dad likes soccer. That's why he worked with it.
And for me, it was my dad got me in it. Obviously, I was like Liv's age, like primary school and stuff like that, which is, I don't even know what I was, like kindergarten for you or something. I was always kicking, and then obviously got into a team. But my dad literally like took me everywhere. He still does. Like, he comes here, like flies halfway across the country. Like, it's like 800, 600 quid, which is like, I think it's $700, $800, like, to get over here, just because, like, he misses taking me to games, he misses watching me. Like, I can drive now and he'll still take me to games, like, so it's always been him. Like, we literally have the same tattoo on the back of our arm. It's me and my dad. Like, he took me everywhere, he's got me here. So, and I've always fell in love with the sport anyway. Like, I used to do athletics, which is running, but that came to a point where I stopped that for football. Everything I've done, boxing, I stopped for football. Like, I've just loved it. It was always, like, as Sadie said, like, an escape. Like, I don't like education one bit. So, like, to have education and then to have the soccer just distracts you from that, and it just gives you a minute to just chill because you enjoy it. So, like, in school, didn't like it. So I'd have football, like, twice a week back home. So I'd play, and then we'd play matches, and, like, the environment was always good. But I think coming here was just, like, a next step. Like, as I said, like, my mate in Alabama went, and I think it was in COVID time, and she used to play with me back home, and she loved it, and I seen how much she loved it. And me and my dad just always said, like, even if it's the 2 years, it's the 2 years just to go, because it is, like, a different environment here. So, like, when I came, like, I just loved it even more. And obviously I met all, like, people, which I didn't think I was going to meet. I was saying to everyone back home, like, I'm not going to like Americans and all this and that, like, probably just going to be sitting in my dorm going to play football and back in my dorm. But obviously then they took me literally everywhere, like American football games, even though I don't like it, but I like steaks, I can ring the bell.
He'll say.
But yeah, it's just like, it's just a game. Like, it just distracts me and gets me out of, like, a lot of stuff. But it was due to my dad. Like, my dad took me everywhere, and, like, if it wasn't for my dad, I probably wouldn't have gone to half the stuff. I probably wouldn't even be here. So yeah,
that's awesome. Well, any final thoughts before we wrap things up?
That I'm on a podcast.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, just come watch.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I do appreciate y'all's time. I know y'all just hate getting out of this heat to come do something like this. So,
really? I mean, you sure you don't have any more questions?
For sure on that. Well, girls, I do appreciate.
3 more hours.
We got it.
Good,
We got you.
We got all day. David, we good? He gives us a thumbs up.
David, I don't know, to be honest.
Well, I do appreciate y'all's time, and I look forward to the season, and I do appreciate y'all being part of the ICC family. And
make sure you look at the pictures.
Yes, and y'all's pictures will be loaded soon. We had our big media day, and Casey did an outstanding job. She's excited about it.
She did.
And those will be loaded soon on ICCimages.com. So good luck this season, and once again, you can see that the schedule at letsgoicc.com, and you can watch these girls and learn more about them at letsgoicctv.com. We'll be back with more of the ICC Hour right after this.
Bye-bye, driver.
You're always pushing yourself. There's no time to rest. You keep moving forward. The only thing better than your last accomplishment is your next.
What's next?
What's next?
What's next?
So, Allie, what's next?
I guess we'll see.
Find a bank that's as excited about your future as you are. A bank that asks,
what's next?
Renaissance Bank, understanding you.
ICC fans, make your plans to meet the Indians Wednesday, August 21st at 7 p.m. inside the cool confines of the Davis Event Center on the Fulton campus of Itawamba Community College. Meet the football, men's and women's soccer, and volleyball teams while enjoying performances from the ICC All-American Band and the ICC cheerleaders. Autograph sessions and photo opportunities with your favorite ICC student athletes will follow the introduction of players and coaches. That's Meet the Indians, Wednesday, August 21st at 7 p.m. at the Davis Event Center in Fulton.
When injury knocks you out, Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi will be there for you every step of the way. We are here to get you back in the game, back in motion, back to your life. Our elite team of orthopedic specialists will work side by side with you, educating you about your treatment plan, utilizing advanced technology, and providing you with a successful path to recovery. Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi. We will get you back.
The start of the athletic season at Itawamba Community College is just around the corner, and you can be in the center of all the action. Whether it's football, soccer, or volleyball, you can watch every touchdown, goal, and point this fall on letsgoicctv.com. Keep up with all things ICC athletics by following Let's Go ICC on your favorite social media platform and by visiting letsgoicc.com. Of course, there's no better experience than supporting your favorite ICC athlete in person. So make your plans to join the rest of the ICC family in Fulton this season. Itawamba Community College. The best start here.
And welcome back to the ICC Hour here on Super Talk Mississippi 101.9 FM. As always, the ICC Hour is being brought to you by our friends over at Renaissance Bank. You can find out what's next by visiting renaissancebank.com. Well, now we're going to be joined by ICC women's soccer coach David Strother. And, Coach, I want to tell you what, you got some big shoes to fill after the three we just talked to here. But thank you for taking time for joining us for the show today.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And I thought those three young ladies knocked it out of the park. So we'll see how this one goes.
Well, Coach, real quick, give a little bit of a background about yourself. This is
I think it's 9th season.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's going into 9th season. So usually on a 5-year plan. Everywhere else, I've either tried to leave within 5 years or I get ran off after 5 years. But Itawamba's home. And I talked to people about this journey whenever I was taking this position. And some had been here longer and said, hey, once you get here, you don't want to leave. And, of course, me and my ambitions, we'll see what that looks like. And sure enough, I mean, going on year 9 and, having the family have roots here and the wife who's employed at Itawamba, this is family, and it's just a really, really neat place. So hopefully at this time, not looking to go anywhere. So if anyone above me in administration is listening, just always have that contract ready to re-sign as long as you guys are happy with what we're doing.
Well, Coach, and that's one thing I saw where you posted the other day, or Nina posted pictures of the kids, and it's crazy to think, that's the reason why I had to pause for a second. I remember when Liam, we used to be neighbors.
That's right.
So I remember whenever I would leave my door unlocked, and Sydney would come in the mornings and wake me up.
Yeah.
So, it's amazing how time flies. But Coach, let's just talk about the season. You're in preseason training right now. So how's that going?
It's going great. The players they get a summer workout program that we give them, and it's a 10-week process. It's an intense process. I have to commend our assistant coach, Coach Gaultier, and what he does to prepare the players to get fit to come in for preseason. But they were diligent in it. They ran for their 10 weeks. They did their endurance testing like they were supposed to on a weekly basis, and they came in fit. And that's a big thing for wanting to compete in our league. If we're having to worry about our fitness while we're in preseason, it puts us back. It creates more injuries, and they've done really well in this first week, coming in fit so that we could train. Of course, we have the typical things, the strains and the soreness, but those have been limited, I believe, just because of how fit the team has come in.
And that's big time too, because you're putting that trust in them, saying, "All right, I'm believing in you. You're going to do this. You're actually going to do this." And then they come in that shape. As coaching staff, that's got to give you a really big boost going into training.
Yeah, absolutely. We're really big. We're really big into accountability, and so we tell our players, if we have to tell you to do these things, you're not going to work out into our culture once you get here. And so it's never to scare anyone away. Players come in and they're excited about the process, and you never really know what it looks like until you get in it. But if we're having to call you on a weekly basis through summer and remind you about the running that you already have a responsibility on, you're going to struggle. But I'll commend the team too. We have great leadership within this team. Usually our sophomore class does a really good job, and this current sophomore class did an exceptional job reaching out to players during the summer, checking in on them through Instagram or through Snapchat, and just making sure that there were touch points along the way that me and Ugo didn't have to focus on. They were able to reach out to one another, which also helped start building the camaraderie amongst the teammates. And so it's been a really good process that hadn't been going on for a week. It's been really going on for about 10 or 11 weeks now.
And that's going to be a word you hear throughout this interview, and is culture. It's a big thing that it's different between guys and girls sports, and that culture is so important whenever it comes to, and I'm not being, slighting anything, but it's so important in the female aspect of things when it does come to sports, is that camaraderie, the culture. And you can tell by the three we talked to earlier, that is something that is very strong right now amongst the team. But talk about, I know it starts with recruiting, getting to know the recruits, but you're bringing players from all across the world into your program. And it may reflect this one played my style in high school, but this one did not. How do you marry all those unique individuals and personalities together to make one cohesive group?
Yeah, so we actually lay that out in our recruiting process. We have players every year that are interested in us, and we may go look at them, and they don't fit exactly how we like to play. And I think that's a big part of identifying any school that a student athlete decides, because if we're going through our recruiting process and we tell you that we want to play a certain way and it doesn't fit into your style, during the 2 weeks of preseason, you're going to be struggling with that. You're going to be already having issues of doubt, and you're already going to have frustrations. And so if we can limit those by identifying players on the front side of how we want to play, and then bring them into our team, it's just a natural progression for them. Of course, it's faster, it's more physical, but it doesn't change the way that they already know how to play. So as we go out and we look for players, we always try to identify, okay, can she fit into our system? And then as we get to know her, okay, can she fit into our culture? Because it's 24 young ladies, and we know that at any given time, all 24 may not be getting along as well as they are in the first 2 days of preseason, whenever all the excitement is there. So we want to know that it's not just a good soccer player, like she's a good person. She's going to be a great asset away from the field for our team. She's going to be a great asset onto our campus, into our community. It's going to be someone that is a positive reflection of everything that goes along with Itawamba soccer, not just winning games, but also how you identify yourself off campus and on campus as an ICC soccer player.
Now, how do you do that whenever it comes to your internationals? Because obviously recruiting high school kids here in the States, and here I am talking like I'm international calling the States, but here in Mississippi, you get to have that face-to-face, that conversation. So I know thanks to technology, you got Zoom, but, it's a little bit more tricky, I guess you can say, to see that true person versus them sitting down in an interview aspect.
Yeah, and so it's a lot of that. It's a lot of Zoom meetings. Just asking some tough questions along the way, see how they answer them. Of course, we watch video and see if they can score goals or if they can defend. But then it's getting to know them as a person, just through WhatsApp conversations, through Zoom calls. But it's really neat. You get to know them, but you don't really get to know them, right? Like they're going to answer the questions that the agencies that they work with tell them how to answer and what to say about the soccer or even what they think the culture is. And then they get here and you start seeing their individual personalities. And it's actually a lot neater. You start learning some of their charismatics, some of the way that they interact with their teammates, some of the way they interact with us. Who likes to be a jokester, which we have a few of those. Yeah.
Yes.
And if you think the ones are good, wait till you meet some of these freshmen. But it's neat to see how they grow in an environment and maybe come out of their shell, and you get to know them more, not just as a player, but as a person. And I think, where we are in society nowadays and how everything is so transactional, really taking time to get to know your international players, get to know your Mississippi players. That's a great part of the journey, because then they're trusting you in what we want to do out on the field. And it's just that close relationship of an understanding, and it's not so transactional of, okay, you're the coach, you tell me what to do, I'm just going to do the work, even though I don't want to do the work or I don't know what the work looks like. It seems to go a lot better whenever you actually get to know the people for who they truly are.
You're always pushing yourself. There's no time to rest. You keep moving forward. The only thing better than your last accomplishment is your next.
What's next?
What's next?
What's next?
So, Allie, what's next?
I guess we'll see.
Find a bank that's as excited about your future as you are. A bank that asks,
what's next?
Renaissance Bank, understanding you.
When injury knocks you out, Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi will be there for you every step of the way. We are here to get you back in the game, back in motion, back to your life. Our elite team of orthopedic specialists will work side by side with you, educating you about your treatment plan, utilizing advanced technology, and providing you with a successful path to recovery. Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi. We will get you back.
The start of the athletic season at Itawamba Community College is just around the corner, and you can be in the center of all the action. Keep up with all things ICC athletics by visiting letsgoicc.com. Itawamba Community College, the best start here.
We're talking with Coach Davis Strother about the ICC women's soccer program. Again, we do want to encourage you to visit letsgoicc.com to find that schedule. We'll also have stats, stories, so much more you can keep up with there. And also follow them on Facebook. It's Itawamba Soccer on Facebook. And then you can also watch them on letsgoicctv.com for home matches. But we really do want to encourage you to come out and support them. I know it's in the middle of the day, but hey, I mean, what a great way to take a break from your day is.
We'll give you a work excuse.
Yes,
okay?
Absolutely.
Bring your high school teams. We'll throw in some Powerades in the concession stand. We love it. We love the environment whenever our players are playing in front of a large crowd. It's awesome.
Yep. Well, David, let's talk about expectations. What are your expectations? I hate to say for the season, because everybody says, well, our expectations, everybody's expectation is to win the very last game of the year, But let's just start right now with your preseason training. What are your expectations for the team right now? Yeah,
so what we're working on right now is just an identity of who we want to look like whenever we play. It's a consistent picture. We want to make sure that it's easy to understand for our players. It's challenging for our opponents, and so right now it's an identity on the field, and then we're working on team meetings and different things to identify what the culture is internally. And going through preseason, we have one more week after this. We'll open our exhibition dates with Freed Hardman, I believe, on August 16th. And so by the time that game hits, we want to make sure we have a clear picture on how we want to defend with just some good ideas on how we want to attack. Last season we were fortunate enough to score so many goals. I think that was awesome to see some of those score lines. It gave our players a lot of confidence going to goal. But then whenever we got into the thick of the conference where, anybody at any time can win because it's such a challenging conference. We were a little bit vulnerable defensively, and so we want to clean that up going into this season. We have a lot of good returning players that were defensive minded, so we're building on a foundation with them. And so we want to make sure that not only we're scoring goals and having fun and making it a fun product to watch, we want to be a hardworking team that you look at and say, okay, you're gonna have to earn a goal against Itawamba, and that's the mindset we're going into right now with preseason.
And I don't think enough people realize, and you touched on it there, just how difficult this conference is. I know everybody focuses on football because football is key in the South, but I don't know that for team-to-team, competition, women's soccer may be even a little bit more difficult than football because I tell you what, it's loaded.
Yeah, it is, and the national rankings come out every week, and I think last season there was a 2-week period where we played the number one team 4 times in a row. And the reason we did that is because we played the first team that was number 1 at the time. And then the next game, the team that was number 2 in the country had bumped up to number 1. And then the next week, it was the same exact cycle. And so it's challenging. We're not going to make excuses about it. I love the competitive nature of our league. I love how on any given day you got to show up. But our expectations as we go through the season. I listened to a little bit of the answers from our team as they were talking with you before I stepped in. I love their politeness, but we identify where we want to be as a team, and we want to make sure that at the end of the conference we're still standing. We want to make sure that if we do our job, there's an automatic bid to the national tournament. Like those are the ways that we're envisioning moving into the future. That's what we're working on in our preseason training. It's not to brag, but it's a daily grind to get there. And if we're going to work that hard, I want our players to envision why they're working that hard. And I do think that they're starting to see that. Hopefully, as the season continues and we get into the regular season, they'll have more of an identity of why we're doing these things.
All right, and then let's just go to look at the season. We talked about the toughness of the conference, but your goals and everybody takes it game for game. So I guess look at it that way. Obviously, you want to get better from one game to the next, but what's your focus on just basically starting the season to working towards the end of the season? Yeah,
so we always look at the season as stages. We want to be at a certain level at the end of preseason, and then going into non-conference play after exhibitions. We may want to add some different things with our formation. We may want to change some tactics around, and so that those non-conference games, we tried to stretch out, playing different opponents from different conferences around the Southeast region. Didn't really want to play anybody in our conference for a game that technically is not going to count into conference rankings, but could count towards being vulnerable, showing some things maybe we don't want to show. So that non-conference is really fine-tuning for conference, because once that starts at the end of September, it's every week it's 2 games per week, and you have to be in your best form. So not only are we wanting to improve, but okay, can we remain healthy? We have some depth this year, a little bit more than what we had last year, which I think is great. We have 23 on roster, 20 field players. So that means every position has 2 players per, and then the goalkeepers, we have 3 highly competitive goalkeepers. So we're hoping that depth will allow us to not have to use certain numbers for certain games, and we can rotate going into non-conference so that we can also have a good idea of who's our best 11, who's our strongest 11 as conference is getting started, ready to be played in late September.
Awesome. Well, David, I asked the girls, and I put this question to you as well. Why should people come watch you play this year?
For us, we want to give you the best product we possibly can. We want to be entertaining. We want to be something that's prideful of the Itawamba community, the Fulton community. And so, if you enjoy soccer, of course, come out and watch. But also, if you're just in the community and you see these players in the community, you see them in the restaurant, and you hear this random accent that doesn't sound like Fulton, Mississippi, that she's more than likely a soccer player. And so, a lot of our community has gotten to know our players that I didn't even know they were interacting with, whether it's the church communities in this area. A couple of our players have had some injuries in the spring and the fall, went through rehab, and so they were interacting with some of those core employees of those services. And so these ladies work extremely hard, and to brag on them a little bit, we finished last season nationally ranked. Our intention is to begin this season ranked as well, and we just want to grow even more. So it's not a bad product. It's a competitive product. It's a fun product to watch. It's certainly a fun product to coach. So come out and watch them play and root them on. Put on your red, white, and blue. Bring a tent. If we're playing in the afternoons, you can put yourself in the shade. Occasionally, we'll have people show up with a grill. I'm never going to say no to that. Just
not at all.
Bring me a hamburger to the sideline, or bring one up to you in the tower. But come and watch them play. Friends and family will do so, but the community as well. And so if we can put a good product out there that's competitive, and it's something that's maybe getting a little bit of traction around the community, when you hear about it, come out and watch and see what it looks like. We'd love for you to do so.
And David, say there's someone listening right now, a future player that might be interested in your program, maybe a parent or a guardian that wants to encourage their child to be part of the program here. How do they go about getting noticed by you and Coach Ugo?
Yeah, so for us, recruiting is relationships, and relationships are a two-way street. We sometimes go out to games and we're able to watch you on the fly. Maybe it's a tournament with your club team, or maybe it's a high school game that begin in October or November. But don't wait on us. If you're interested in the program, reach out to us through email. You can find all of our contact information under Let's Go ICC. Let's go ICC.com. Sorry for that. But reach out to us. It's got our emails. It's got our office numbers. We are adamant about responding to emails. We may miss them. We get a lot of information. You guys in your department do too. So if we miss you, don't think, well, I guess they're not interested in us. It may be right now, like during preseason and the chaos. It may trickle down our inbox. So under Let's Go ICC.com, we have all the contact information. There's also a recruiting questionnaire right there in the women's soccer tab that you can click on. Once we have that, even if it's a week or two that you don't hear from us, we will get that information eventually. We'll get in touch with you. And if it's a good fit, we're going to ask for video. We're going to want to maybe have a phone call or two with you. And then if it's something that we think that, okay, this is a person that can fit into who we are as a program, we're going to invite you to campus, let you see what it looks like internally too, because we want to see how you interact with our players. If you come in to campus and you're on your cell phone, not asking questions, bring a parent and they're the ones asking all the questions, and you're on Instagram or you're texting your friends, I will tell you that's probably not going to be the best visit for you.
Right.
But if you're engaged in the process and you're asking questions of where you see yourself fitting in, you ask questions about what your major is and how we can help you with accomplishing your classes with your major, that's all showing us that you're interested in, and that's all part of the journey that's exciting on the player side. Probably a little stressful for us as the coaches on our side, but it is a fun process. And the earlier you can start it, the better. But recruiting is just relationships. Reach out to us, and of course, we'll do the same on our end whenever we see players when we have the chance to.
Absolutely. And if you're a little bit younger, maybe not right now in high school, we've got our camps, things like that you can always attend as well to help grab the eye of the coach there. Well, David, I appreciate your time. I know you got to get back to the girls for the more training, but any final thoughts before I cut you loose?
No, just always stay connected to us, whether it's through women's soccer, all the social media outlets that you've already mentioned, but just stay connected to all ICC in general, whether it's the academic side, the athletic side. You guys do such a great job of promoting all of our sports out on social media outlets. Anyone and everyone, go follow us. We've got a great YouTube channel. We've got great Instagram followers. We've got a great pipeline into helping you network for the next level. For players that are wanting to play at the 4-year level, we are a great stepping stone for that. I'm never offended by saying that word. We are a platform to help you get noticed. It's our job to help you do that. So we're going to train train you to do that. We're going to push you to do that as soccer players. You guys in this sports information department do a great job of promoting them through their statistics. And then, I mean, the academics speak for themselves here at Itawamba too. And so if you're successful here at Itawamba academically, you're gonna absolutely soar whenever you go to that next level. So just stay connected to us as any participants that are looking at opportunities, even if it's not athletic related. You can go to iccms.edu and you can find any information you need about our college on any of those websites.
Absolutely. That's the reason why we say the best start here. Well, David, thank you for your time. Good luck, and ready to hit the pitch and watch y'all roll this season.
Literally, roll Tribe.
Roll Tribe.
You're always pushing yourself. There's no time to rest. You keep moving forward. The only thing better than your last accomplishment is your next.
What's next?
What's next?
What's next?
So, Allie, what's next?
I guess we'll see.
Find a bank that's as excited about your future as you are. A bank that asks,
what's next?
Renaissance Bank, understanding you.
The start of the athletic season at Itawamba Community College is just around the corner, and you can be in the center of all the action. Keep up with all things ICC athletics by visiting letsgoicc.com. Itawamba Community College, the best start here.